Okay, this is the start of day 2, 12:28. Ordinarily, I'd be a little bit further along, but I was starting to feel kind of tired, and I decided to take a break. Take my rest stop early. So here it is. It's 2:30 in the morning. Not quite sure how far I can get. In traditional terms, a trip out to Washington D.C. or something like that would be Austin to Little Rock, then Little Rock to Knoxville, and then the third day would be on site, unless of course you're going like Massachusetts, that'd be another day, or close to it anyway. So that is what's concerning me. Is I'm 4 hours out of Bristol, so that's still in Virginia, and then to make it to Knoxville, I have to punch out for another hour. So I feel like I'm going to be behind, and chances are I'll probably have to stop in Little Rock or Texarkana. But I mean, that said, that's still reasonable progress. So then the next question is, can I stay awake that long? And so I may have to take a short break to refresh and then come back to it, but that's where we're going to go. So anyway, there we are. So I'm starting out with 2,895 miles. My average energy use is 303 watt hours per mile. Not bad. Although I've been pushing the speed up. I mean, cars are flying by and I'm just keeping up with them. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, welcome to the first supercharged stop of this trip. So far I've traveled 2,967 miles. 970 kilowatt hours have been used, and I'm averaging 306 watt hours per mile. So that's not bad. So we're doing good. We'll see how it goes as we truck along. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it's kind of funny watching the mist come up from underneath my car. Not having being an EV, it's kind of strange seeing the steam coming out from underneath there. As opposed to a nice car where you expect it. Okay, welcome to frosty Wytheville. We've covered 3,087 miles so far, used 949 kilowatt hours, and we're averaging 308 watt hours per mile. Wow, the current trip, I used 354 watt hours per mile. Oh, maybe I could. Okay, whatever. That sounds like a lot, and I don't think I was going all that hard. So one of the things I did notice is, okay, I have a heated steering wheel, so that is definitely working. And I do have a heated seat, so I'm sure that's also using some energy. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe that explains why I'm using more energy in the winter. Although obviously when it gets hot, I use air conditioning, so we'll see. Okay guys, well, welcome to Bristol, Tennessee. As a repeat, I guess navigation figured out that I can't quite make the station it had, so we changed some things around, and Bristol and Crossville, I think it is. Anyway, thought I'd give you a nice sunrise instead of a boring old screen. Look at the trees. It's like they're frosted. Well guys, welcome to Knoxville. I'm guessing this is a Poplar charger. I think it shows one stall's open. It says, well, it started with an hour. I got an hour 50. Now it's up. I'm down to just 50 minutes to continue trip. Or whatever, we'll see what happens. I'm going to see if I can go to another charger before that. Where am I going? Nashville. So anyway, total distance so far, 328 miles. 1,014 kilowatt hours used, and I'm averaging 308, so it sounds like I'm kind of stable at the moment. So whatever, we'll see how it goes. Welcome back to Cookeville, continuing on back towards Texas. So so far we have 3,379 miles on this trip. Total energy used is 1,042 kilowatts, and the average energy is 308 watt hours per mile. And that last section was 305, which makes sense because I was kind of hammering. But anyway, allegedly, as they say. But we're doing good. This is version 2, so I'll probably take a little bit longer, but it says 30 minutes. And I'm pulling 70. So over there in Knoxville, it was pulling like 35, 40. So we're doing a lot better here. Okay guys, welcome to Dixon, Tennessee. So far we've covered 3,495 miles, used 1,074 kilowatt hours of energy for an average energy of 307 watt hours per mile. And wow, look at that. My last segment, the average energy dropped down to 272 watt hours per mile. Now, the one thing I do know that I did was I turned off the steering wheel heat, but I did slow down just a little bit, like 4 or 5 miles an hour. So anyway, things are going good so far. Hi guys, welcome to Memphis, Germantown actually. So far we have 3,653 miles covered, 1,120 kilowatt hours used, and we're averaging 307 watt hours per mile. And in the last trip, or last leg, I averaged 295 watt hours per mile. So I slowed down a little bit. It looked like it was going to be kind of touch and go on the mileage at first, and then later on I saw that we're doing fine. Anyway, we're here, we're doing good. We'll catch you on the next one. Okay, it's not much of it, but there's the sunset. At least I won't have all the sun reflecting on my dirty windows. Okay guys, welcome to Brinkley. So when I was charging up to go to Little Rock, it was getting close to limit, and it looked like it was just a little bit short. So I decided to preempt all that and just add a stop into Brinkley. No sense in fighting for half an hour to get 10%. So anyway, we'll see how that goes from here. So for this trip, we've covered 3,743 miles. We used 1,148 kilowatt hours, and it looks like the average energy is 307 watt hours per mile, which is, since the last charge in Memphis, I'm averaging 303. So while I'm pulling it down just slightly, it's going to stay pretty close to the same. But whatever, that's fine. So things are going great. Okay, we're at Little Rock. 3,822 miles, 1,172 kilowatts hours, 307 watt hours per mile. Oh look, yeah, I bumped it up. So my last since the last charge went up to 309, but I was tripping along at the speed limit, by the way. The speed limit is 75. Trucks are 70. Anyway, life is fun. Welcome to day 10 of my trip to Austin to Boston and back. So today I'm definitely on the way back, and I'm feeling some time pressure to get back, so I'm really going for it. So the total mileage covered today, 928 miles. Total time in the car, 16 hours, 52 minutes. The total amount of time charging, 5 hours, 46 minutes, which sounds a bit high, but I don't know, whatever it is, it is. There were 9 charging stops, so it does add up after a while. And it kind of adds up that it would have been around that much. Okay, I added 326 kilowatt hours at a cost of $118
$8.17. I wasn't doing comparison to Jetta, but today was pretty expensive. So comparing it to Jetta would have won easily. So, there were some charging stops where it was at 20 degrees. I know one charging stop seemed to take a long time. It's not that the stop was busy, although there were 3 cars, if I remember right. It just was running slow. So I will say this one thing: Virginia, Tennessee, they charge you by the minute, not by the kilowatt hour. Which kind of tells me next time I go to Boston, I may want to look at what alternative routes can I do. I know there's kind of a northern route that runs up through Connecticut to Cincinnati and upstate New York, something like that. I've driven that before, in the Jetta, actually, I think, but maybe the cheap one. I'm forgetting which one. I just don't know if that makes a difference in the charging cost when it's cold and you're paying by the minute. You charge slower in the cold, so you're paying more. But anyway, whatever, peace and harmony. The overall cost of the car is not dictated by any one trip, right? Most of my charging cost savings are charging at home. But anyway, and today was a lot of. In fact, I have a video where I'm charging up, and you can see the steam mist rising from the car because the car is relatively warm and it's cold outside. But anyway, whatever, peace and harmony. So I stopped in Northern Virginia for the previous night. So I'm starting there, and I make it down to Little Rock. In Little Rock, the Little Rock Superchargers, there is a hotel that's pretty close there. So I had already decided I was going to stay there. It turned out that was a bit more expensive than I really wanted to pay, but I was so tired I didn't care. So there it is. The one charging stop seemed like it took a long time. I'm thinking maybe I want to go get something to eat, or at least look around, and maybe I came back to the charger late. I don't know. But anyway, this whole trip with the cold weather has been kind of a strange charging or longer charging sessions, more repeated. It's not quite the right word. More frequent charging stops, and that's all because of the cold. So, that's kind of where we are. Is since I'm not used to it. I think if I lived in Virginia, if I lived in Tennessee, I'd be more used to it. It'd be run of the mill. I would know what to expect. Coming from Texas, this is my first really cold weather to be in, and so with a Tesla, so that's throwing me off. But anyway, whatever, peace and harmony. It's all good. Progress was made. Yes, it was a long day, but I did take free breaks to stay refreshed somewhat, and it all worked out because tomorrow I'm going to be back in Texas.